Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chris and Andre Show.
Yeah. The way that people try to say, like, and this is like the antithesis of what I'm saying, is like Kanye West. I still don't like Kanye.
You don't have to like him.
I've never. Nor do I.
But
think,
you better let him finish.
You know what I don't really,
or Chance or hold on or Chance the Rapper.
No, but this is so detrimental to the point of being an artist. What sucks is like when I say that like our rooms are being manipulated now. It's like if we were to think of the things that we should have a problem with in today's world, it wouldn't even be. I mean, it would be so close to the last thing of saying, you know what, I don't like that Kanye West guy. Yeah. Like everyone is so.
Oh, those I don't lose sleep over it. I'm just saying, like
no, but it's like it's crazy that it's even a thought. It's like what he's done, and look, he's just a guy. Like so, it's like he's not a system, which this is. No, but really quick. But I think it's important, really quick, just only because we like put this out into the world. I just want this thought to go out. We are being so manipulated into our thinking. Like our thoughts aren't our own for the most part anymore. And we need to be aware of that because it should not be like an easy statement to say, hey, you know that guy that like tries and makes music in different ways? Like for us to be so quickly to be like, yeah, I don't like him. Like especially knowing where he's from a little bit empathetically, like it's like, we should be quicker to point at other people. Is all I'm saying. There's much more.
So all right. So I have no problem with saying like pointing out people's faults, right? So I think that there is
all the time.
I think there's a point where if you're going to believe your own press, then you should be able to get ridiculed.
Sure.
And my issue with
Kanye is not a journalist.
Let me finish.
The press is ridiculous.
This motherfucker legit thinks he's a goddamn genius, and like that's. Let me just like I'm now. I'm just
he
believes
that he is the genius voice of a generation.
Yeah, and I fundamentally do not agree with that at all.
But by the way, remember he's a business guy, so anytime he's in public, he's pretty much just promoting his business. Like
sure, fine, but we should, if he's going to do that in public. No, if he's going to do that in public, I should have the ability.
No, that's
to have
fine. But I'm asking
a
question: do you feel like Kanye has ever made good music?
I think he's only made one or two songs I actually like.
Okay, but so you feel like he is capable of making good music?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
but I don't. And
that's fine. I'm not asking you to like sign off on everything the guy does. But I think to Chris's point, right? Like. There's a bit of it that I do think, I think there's a bit of it that is that manipulation of the media and the way that things are presented in this, like, well, look at this crazy dude. Shouldn't we all think that Kanye's totally crazy and focus on this?
Let me finish my point before you guys, before you try to railroad me.
When I try to railroad you? When have I ever railroaded you on this show?
I've listened to.
The only reason I wanted to say that is to
stop.
Okay, sure.
I've listened to countless people go to bat for this guy, right?
I don't know.
I'm saying in my experience, I've listened to countless people. I even heard T.I. say, "We can't, as a culture, we can't lose Kanye West," right? Whatever. And my point is this: it's like, look, that's all well and good, but when you reach or you're able or you access a certain level of notoriety in society. And you decide to own that, and you take a personal investment in what that looks like, and you say, like, then that's on you. The shit you do after that, that's fucking on you.
But so then, like, just to clarify, if Kanye had never, in your terms, bought into his own press, you wouldn't have an issue with everything that he's done since?
More than likely not. Like J. Cole. Right?
It's a press problem.
I was not.
Like, none of these guys.
The press. It's not like media.
I'll put it this way.
The term I'm using, no, son, listen.
Sure.
The term I'm using is like, if everybody keeps saying Christian's great, and you're like, yeah, because they're saying that, I believe that. Not the media. I'm saying your own press. People come to you, telling you, and reporting back to you.
You're not allowed to believe that you're great.
Man,
no, I'm asking. Like, do you think you're a great developer? Like.
I think
even when people tell me like nice things about myself, I'm very grounded in reality of knowing my own.
But I'll say this: I think I'm a pretty good podcast producer.
What Andre is saying is he finds Kanye West as being very egotistic, very selfish, and belligerent to other artists to the point where he's insufferable.
Well, hip hop, there's never been a rapper ever, a hip hop producer ever, that has been the most interesting and deservedly talked about thing in America or in the world ever. It's never been the most interesting thing. So my question is, why is it that people are choosing to focus on and to debate hip hop and to ridicule? You know how easy it is to pick on a person from. I'm
not picking on anybody. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
I don't like Kanye West.
No, but my point is it's debatable that I've never been to Chicago. It's debatable that I should never even know who Kanye was. And I think that there's a lot of people who have interest in propping up people, owning people. In his case, owning his music. He's got it back, but owning it, promoting him, making him more popular. People stars are pretty much like pawns in America. So it's like Drake right now. It's in the best interest of capitalism. It's in the best. Well, I'll just leave it at capitalism and consumerism, that Drake is the biggest artist in the world because he's going to go and buy new houses. He's going to prop up to the young kids that buying things is important, sexuality is important, things
But
that
isn't
are not
there an
that
element of individual responsibility in that, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's your point, Andre, is that yes, those things are what capitalism wants you to do, but you're not obligated to do those things. You as an individual get to make those choices.
Yeah,
and so
I don't.
I
Yeah,
think what you're saying, Andre, is it's if you choose to embrace those things and to essentially sign off on the capitalist side of it and say let me take all of the attention because ultimately it's going to get me more of what I want.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, and so I hear what you're saying, Andre. I think I look at it again, right? We've talked about separating the art from the artist. And I think with Kanye, that's a way that you can look at it too, right? The individual Kanye, I've seen him live long before he was married to a Kardashian, and it was not a super entertaining show. I've talked about it before. The guy basically treated it as a rehearsal and kept stopping the show. He spent 40 minutes at one point playing 2-minute clips of songs he'd produced and then just saying, yeah, I produced that. That was his show, right? It wasn't super entertaining, but I still look at it and I'm Gold Digger was a freaking that was a good
It was a dope song.
I'm still gonna jam when that comes on the radio, but yeah, so ultimately, I think both can be true, right? I think we can celebrate the artist and for what he was able to create, but at the same time, still reserve some level of criticism when we feel like that artist has maybe step beyond. But I don't know. Who are we? Who are we to judge this person?
It's an opinion. It's an opinion, right?
I hear you.
I personally, I choose not to be for example, this is controversial. You got R. Kelly, you got Michael Jackson, right? Both did heinous things.
Well, one allegedly, and the other was convicted in court.
Sure.
But yes,
but
I got you.
Okay. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's kind of but people are still rocking with him.
But also, R. Kelly.
But he died.
No, R. Kelly.
I'm not excusing
either. R. Kelly is way more excusable than Michael Jackson.
These are easy people to. These are easy people to make
fun
of.
That's whatever.
I'm not. I'm just saying, legit. I don't put anybody up on a pedestal like that. That's all I'm saying. And the second part to that is that I look at it from my perspective, and I found this very interesting. That in the black community, that the people that we have that give a voice to our community are typically entertainers. The minute they slip, they get persecuted and drugged through the mud quick. Super quick. So for me, it's maybe you shouldn't believe all your own press and try to stay humble. In my point going back to J. Cole, I was not a big J. Cole fan, so I listened to one of his CDs albums a couple years ago. Listened to the lyrics, I'm yo, dude he can flow. Then I started doing looking into what type of person he was, and he's a real cat. I'm like, yo, that's dope. But what's funny is that he gets the most ridicule currently because he's not doing the tomfoolery that everybody else is doing. So it's like,
and he's a big NC State fan.
Sure, be that as it may. But it's
can you do a counter every time you drop one like that?
No, I wish we could.
That's 3.
But he always does that. But so I'm not trying to crap on Kanye. I don't really care. I'm not trying to crap on J. Cole. I really don't care. I'm just saying, in some levels, you got to kind of own what you do. You got to own.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, I think that that goes unsaid, right? We're all here. We're like, yeah, you should own what you do. That's not the problem. The problem, I think, that is happening, and it's being popularized, is making fun of people that aren't doing all that bad or horrible things. It's too popular. It's freaking me out. It's like if we all came together and we start to question the press, that would be cool. That would be a lot more beneficial to our whole society. It's like, how much harm does a bad Kanye show or record do to the environment versus, let's say, the banks, let's say the media, let's say, I think that we're so quick to, and that is controversial. It's not controversial to pick on Michael Jackson or R. Kelly.
Right. You talk shit about Deutsche Bank and I think you're absolutely right. There's I mean, we've talked about the shell game, right? That gets played, and that's part of it. No. We know that there's all this really horrible stuff going on, but what you should really be upset about is what Kanye said yesterday, right? And it's
exactly.
The TMZ and all of this, the celebrity of it becomes so distasteful after a while. I think you see it, and it's hard not to get drawn into it a little bit, but then once you understand what it's really doing, it's so revolting, and that's what even in politics, our politicians have become celebrities in that way, and that
they're wrestlers.
They shouldn't
right,
be.
Exactly, it's this is all just for show. This is all entertainment. How do I entertain the crowd? And that is one of the most terrifying things to me. Is I think we've to some extent we've allowed ourselves to just be entertained and say that is enough. And not all of us, but enough of our society here in America and abroad that it's starting to really chip away at our ability to identify what the real problems are and focus our efforts on those things
and know how to approach it.
I was telling my youngest son, and then we got into the conversation spiraled out of control. The problem that we have in this country is that everything is like a marketing gimmick. Everything.
Don't blame marketers. We are good people at heart.
No, everything is selling something. Nothing is. There's just a high level of...
Okay, but is that marketers' fault, or is it the fact that we live in a capitalist society where selling things is the ultimate value?
It's both.
Right.
It's both.
Well, okay, but ultimately, you wouldn't have marketers doing what they're doing if you didn't have the society that you've created for them to exist in. They are a necessary evil for a capitalist society because you have to sell stuff. That's the whole point. So what do? You pay people to sell your product in the best way possible. Whether that means
But here's the question.
Or
does everything have to be a product though? That's my problem.
Well, in a capitalist society, yes. We have essentially deemed that everything. I mean, our healthcare is a fucking product.
Chris, NPOs are a product. Healthcare
NFTs are a product.
That shouldn't be a thing.
But it is, right? I mean, this is what I'm saying, is that we have commoditized everything. We've commoditized our own individual attention, right? This is something that we fight for on a regular basis. We are trying to get people's attention to watch this show right here. Why? Because we think that more people watching this show means that we're doing more to help the world, right?